What's up, gamers? DreamcastGuy here, and today we're talking about Helldivers 2 because they just managed to make their entire fan base incredibly upset, and for such a pointless reason. I think their anger is justified, and this Sony mistake, to me, just doesn't make sense. But let's talk about that. Hi, I hope you're having a great day. If you could, give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. So this is actually something that just came down last night, which is the fact that apparently coming up here in just a couple days, Helldivers 2 is going to require a PlayStation account to even log into. If you want to play it, not only do you have to have the game, you have to have Steam, but now you also have to have a separate PlayStation account. Now, what I want to do in this video is break down why this is just such a terrible idea and such an unnecessary Sony L. They're going to definitely lose players, engagement, happiness, hype, everything about Helldivers 2. Before we even get into the negatives, actually consider the fact that Helldivers 2 is gotta be one of the biggest surprise PlayStation successes in absolute decades. The fact that this is a tiny AA project that has now sold millions of copies, that has become a huge IP. This is a completely new series that Sony could totally capitalize on. That seems like it's making them hundreds of millions of dollars for such a tiny investment. The amount of people buying PlayStations, talking about PlayStation, even buying PlayStation controllers to play it on PC. This is so much easy money. This is one of the biggest games of the entire year, and they've showed the numbers. A lot of those people are on PC and not the PS5. So that's part of why, even on the face, this is such a strange move to pull off. But starting on Monday, everybody in Helldivers 2 is required to have a Steam account connected to PSN. So that means that this is not optional. This is a mandatory login. And if you scroll to the replies, a lot of people are basically saying they warned us it was going to happen, but this still sucks. This is typical Sony behavior. One step forward, two steps back. They struck gold with Helldivers 2, and now they're trying to conflate Steam numbers with PlayStation numbers to look better in quarterly earning calls. This is a great way to get people to stop playing it. Almost every single person is being like, wow, time to get some Steam refunds. This completely sucks. Oh yeah, PSN is such a famously secure network. A lot of people are even making the joke, this is a very classic comic. It does suck to get a new game and start to try and just boot it up, and there is a screen that says, all right, time to create a login, mandatory account checks. Okay, time to verify your account. Like this stuff, it is weird that you can't even do the tutorial until you've done these other 18 steps. Now, I have definitely seen some people saying, oh man, this isn't a big deal. People are being big babies about it. I want to explain why I agree with the people that are upset, even beyond the idea of the fact that a lot of people that are currently playing it are about to lose access. PlayStation Network is only available in 69 countries, meaning that if you live in a place like Egypt, does that mean you cannot play the game? They're screwed. They told us that this was going to happen, but it still completely sucks. So I decided to actually take a look at their Steam account thing and see why they're doing this. And honestly, I hate the terminology. I hate the phrasing here because it feels so reductive. It feels so condescending. We allowed people to play this game without PlayStation networks, but this was always a temporary option. The grace period has now expired. Account linking plays a critical role in protecting our players and upholding the values of safety and security provided by the PlayStation Network. Now, if you've been gaming for at least 15 years, perhaps you know that PlayStation gets hacked pretty often. In fact, there's been some pretty famous data breaches where the PlayStation 3 had to be taken offline for months when the entire network was hacked in half. It happened again with the PlayStation 4 and even the PlayStation 5. So this is so funny. This is Jeff Grubb, and he says, having to sign into PlayStation Network doesn't bother me, but to say this is a matter of safety and security, it's very silly because this is just them trying to basically say, we want to have your data and credit card stuff saved to our ecosystem. Something funny about this that I kind of noticed while researching this video is that they do have this thing where you can like rate this up or down and say if you think this is a good post or a bad post. So be sure to like this video. But there is a discussion. And when I saw this, I was like, oh man, this game is huge. How does it only have 711 comments? Well, that's because they locked the topic. You're not allowed to talk about this on Steam, even if you own the game or are concerned or have questions. They straight up said, hey, you can't do it. Look at that. Well, time to stop playing Helldivers 2. By then, I'll be honest, I get turned off by crossplay, and now I have to deal with it anyways. Everybody is literally like, hey, wow, cool. This is just so stupid. Looks like I'm returning to civilian life. Good luck. I mean, you can see because they banned people being able to comment, instead, people are giving it thousands of Joker emojis. They're literally saying this is clown behavior. It has 117 likes. Is that a gun? Oh, no, it's a raptor. Okay, sorry, make it sure. Let me click that clone. Can I click a clown? I'm not going to give an award. Wow, I have whatever this currency is. Yeah, sure, I'll give it a jester. Give award. There you go. Your award has been granted. There we go. Enjoy your clown. Okay, so part of the reason this is just so ridiculous to me is because I do think this is a huge L. This is a huge mistake to make because a lot of people, frankly, don't care for those extra steps. A lot of people just want to log in and play in the quickest, simplest fashion possible. I'm going to tell you a story. It's a short story, and I promise it's on topic. So this is exactly my actual room in 2013. This is my room when I started making YouTube videos. This is an actual photograph. Don't pay attention to that blood stain on the ground. Okay, so I just had a TV, an Xbox, a Nintendo Wii, and a very terrible computer, and also a fax machine. I slept on the floor. Now, during this time period, I basically, you could tell, didn't have the most illustrious life. I was filming very terrible YouTube videos. I couldn't even make thumbnails. They were very, very basic. I filmed them all with an iPod Touch, not even an iPhone. But during this period, there were times where I would get a game and I'd try and boot it up either on my PC or on my Xbox. If it required a login, a lot of times that was extra steps that either I didn't want to do or times where that would just completely kill my hype. Where if I'm doing that after I've already worked 10, 12 hours that day doing construction, or even when I worked in my good job like the bookstore, it sucks to come home and have all these extra mandatory jump through this hoop, scan this QR code, verify this, try and just sync your email to that account so you can then sync your PlayStation account to your Steam account. Now, I have all that stuff set up now, but a lot of people don't. And you know what I'm going to say? This is going to be my most nuclear take ever. I think a lot of people live like this. I think a huge chunk of active paying gamers that are helping the industry stay lucrative are people that live extremely simple, extremely basic lives while working crazy hours. Maybe I'm projecting my own personal experience here, but I don't think this is that crazy. I think a lot of people have this exact circumstance of a hand-me-down desk with a hand-me-down monitor, with a hand-me-down shelf, with books that were given as gifts. I think a lot of people exist in the most minimal way possible. I think a lot of people basically are saying, all right, how much time can I spend in the afternoon just playing games, mindlessly enjoying myself? And I think that Helldivers 2 has become a huge success because it is a game that allows you to play. It doesn't have a story. It's just fun. It's just goofy. And a lot of these fans, a lot of the people that are like me trying to live a simple gamer monk lifestyle are probably not pleased about these extra steps. Now, I know what some people are going to say, oh, Xbox does this as well. You know what? that sucks too, and I've called that out. If you're playing games like Sea of Thieves on PlayStation, you have to sync an account, and I've called that out. I still think that sucks as well. Mandatory multi-accounts are a stupid, weird, archaic thing. They're not helpful. They're not great. I just don't think for any reason that this is something that actually helps PlayStation. It doesn't help Xbox. It doesn't help anybody. Now, I have seen some people saying like, man, what a huge Sony fumble. But something I did see is that this is probably because the greater effort that PlayStation is trying to achieve is market acquisition. They're trying to get more users into the PlayStation marketplace. Now, this is part of what Sony has talked about in their own investor meetings, which is the idea of the constantly living live service games, stuff with updates and microtransactions and seasonal content. And Sony has said they're pushing in that direction. They want to have a live service version of something like Horizon Zero Dawn. They want to have a live service thing of a lot of different titles that way you can have something to constantly want to play and pay that will help supplement the income for future game development. This is the first PlayStation game that really pulled it off. In my opinion, Xbox has been able to do this for a lesser degree with Halo, with a greater degree to something like Sea of Thieves. Now PlayStation has finally got it right, and that's just not enough. It's not enough that they're making tons of cash. They also have to try and grab you over to the PlayStation ecosystem. And I just think this is such a stupid line in the sand. This is such a stupid forced mechanic to make your own numbers look better. Like, oh wow, we had 700,000 new PlayStation users this year. Okay, that's cool. But how many people stopped playing your game? How many less people are going to engage with the next season of Helldivers 2 because they don't want to jump through these hoops? Helldivers 2 initially came out back in February, and it's become such a monumental internet-breaking success to the point at which the servers couldn't even keep up. Why would you take that amount of hype and profit and love and start to force this? If it didn't have it then, it doesn't need it now. These have just been some off-the-cuff thoughts, though, because honestly, a lot of people are not happy with this. If you actually go to the Steam thing right now, everybody is incredibly pissed. In fact, a lot of people are writing stuff in character. One of the things they do is inside of Helldivers 2, it's very much satirical about, ultra patriotism to defend Super Earth. And people are basically saying it seems like it seems like the bad guys, there's the Terminids and the automatons. It seems like the evil robots have taken over Sony headquarters, which makes it very undemocratic. The fact that even the most passionate fans are saying that this is a huge, stupid thing to do, I think is a sign about the fact that this is something that needs to be reversed. Like, look at this. This guy has 200 hours on record. A lot of these people have hundreds and hundreds of hours played. Sony, undo this. It's not necessarily... How much do you really need to pump up your stupid engagement metrics? It's not too late to say undo. But that's just been my thoughts. Tell me what you think in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and please keep dreaming. Is that cat around here? That cat keeps falling asleep under my desk, and I keep having to watch my feetsies. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.